Tandem Nomads, episode 134.
I think my biggest learning is really connecting and listening to the client. That's how I got my business concept in the first place. And it's also how my business model and concept changed over the first 6 months of testing, was listening to my clients and learning from them.
Hello, Nomad Nation. Welcome to Tandem Nomads, the podcast show and entrepreneurship platform where you can find great inspiration and tips to grow a successful, portable business and thrive in your global nomadic life. This is your host, Emel Deregi. I'm a business and marketing coach and the founder of Tandem Nomads. In today's episode, I want to showcase the amazing story of Emily Rogert, who has started her business and who participated to one of the programs of Tandem Nomads, which is the Business Idea Accelerator. And I wanted to see how her story could inspire you to start your own business. So we will talk about how she managed to find her business idea, but also how she managed to test it and launch it in less than a year. Quite amazing. And by the way, if you want to know more about how you can find your business idea, then make sure to go to tandemnomads.com/134. And there you will be able to participate to the free webinar on how to find the right business idea for you. tandemnomads.com/134. So Emily, thank you so much for being here. And are you ready for this ride?
Thank you, Emel. I'm really excited.
I'm so happy to have you here. And it's just beyond what I can express here. But Nomad Nation, I want to introduce you to Emily, who's a person that I absolutely loved to get to know over this past year. And Emily Rogert comes from Australia, has been living overseas for 20 years. She has met her husband in New Zealand while working in hotel management. She had then shifted her career, becoming an HR manager for Greater China in a professional services firm. A career that she had to put on hold and so that she could move abroad with her husband, as his job took him to Hong Kong, Mumbai, where their first daughter was born, and then Delhi, where their second daughter was born. They've also been to Chongqing. Please don't hate me if Chongqing. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Taipei. And while we're talking, she is packing her boxes to go to New Zealand in just a few weeks. This is just amazing. So while raising her daughters on the move, Emily got involved in the field of leadership and capacity development as a senior action learning coach with the World Institute for Action Learning. She also volunteered a lot in her daughter's schools and in various NGOs. However, as her daughters grew and she had more time for herself, Emily realized that she wanted something more and wanted to make a big impact. That is when she joined the Business Idea Accelerator program and found the right business idea for her. In just under 1 year, Emily managed to launch her business called Expat Parenting Abroad and got her first clients while testing her innovative business concept. Expat Parenting Abroad provides support groups for expat moms in a very different way than what you can see usually out there. But she also provides individual coaching services with different types of packages. So Emily, I really try to summarize for our listeners today who you are. Is there anything I missed here?
I think when you're a mum and you're an expat and you're moving, whether it's for the first time or the fifth time, there's so much information that's out there. And what I do is I curate from the wealth of information available from reputable sources, and I provide themes to guide them through the transition.
This is actually a great point, because that was exactly the question I wanted to ask you is, with your business, what is actually the problem you're trying to solve for the expat moms abroad? What are the challenges they're going through?
I think the biggest challenge is that they feel that sense of overwhelm. There is so much information out there. There's no rule book on how to parent. There's no rule book on how to be an expat, how to transition. But there is so much information available and so many amazing people doing research in this field that I spend the time to curate from those reputable sources, and I take the mums on a journey from literally arriving and setting up, getting ready to move, right through to what are they going to do while they're living there, how they're going to make the most of the experience, and managing their own emotions and the routines and things for their family. So it's a full journey experience that I take them through.
Yes, I love when you talk about that overwhelm and how much there is out there and how you just don't want to be. And I remember we talked about the value proposition when we were working on the business. How can you be different from what's out there? So not only you just don't want to provide another type of resource, another type of content, but it's all about simplifying and cutting through all that overwhelming content out there. So you curate it, like you said, for them, but also guide them through the process. But also what I liked and found very interesting in how you approach your business is also your business model and how you created these support groups. So can you tell us more about these support groups and how they work?
I think that goes back to my key learning is really listening to the client. And, when I was doing the Business Idea Accelerator, I really didn't know what my interests were, what my passions were, where I wanted to invest my time and my energy. And it was through talking to other mums, friends that are still in other countries, mums at the school gate here, that people said, well, I would pay you to get me advice. I'm like, okay, right, what do I do with that? And then listening to them some more and talking to them some more, I was like, well, maybe I will develop a platform and people go and get the information they need. And then talking some more, no, nobody wants to go and check another platform. They want to be taken through the process. And the value they got when I started testing content was actually the conversation. And so it naturally became a support group situation where we spoke on a weekly basis online. It's all online. But we spoke on a weekly basis and we discussed the various topics and talked about what changes that we could all make in our own family life, with our own children, with our own personal experiences. What could we do differently? And working through a journey and sort of building on it week on week. And that developed this support group for Mums Abroad, the full 12-week program developed out of talking to the clients, listening to the clients and developing it with them along the way.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's a co-creation too at some point in a way. And the aspect also of support that the moms get to talk to each other. But one thing that you did not say yet, and I found really original, was the platform you decided to choose, because it speaks for your mission statement, which is simplifying things for expat moms. So you use actually WhatsApp. There is no Facebook groups or another website to go to. It's just on their phone, on the tip of their fingers, on a WhatsApp group. And that's how you keep it simple for the moms who are overwhelmed with too much things to read and do anyhow with their kids.
And the one thing mums always say is, I can't read another email. I've got so many emails coming in from school, from, everything else. No, nobody has time to, people do have time, that's not fair. But from my experience, what I want to offer, they don't want to be in another Facebook group. They don't want to be going and checking something. They want it delivered to them. They're in the car, they're at the school gate. They can be reading it right then and there on their phone, delivered to them. And I time it so it's delivered first thing in the morning, so they've got that opportunity, that window when they are free, more than not, to actually read what I've provided them as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you have also weekly calls, if I remember well.
Yes, they're the online calls that we have, and we literally have a cup of coffee and we sit and we chat for half an hour, and I introduce a topic and then I just facilitate the discussion. I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be an expert in parenting, but I facilitate the conversation based on the resources that I've curated for that week.
That's amazing. And the calls are made through WhatsApp?
The calls are actually on Zoom, because
Okay.
Some of my clients are in China and WhatsApp doesn't work in China. So
interesting.
We use Zoom because Zoom works worldwide.
All right. Okay, that's fantastic. So what an original business idea. I mean, if I say like you are an expat coach for expat moms, that seems so traditional. But then when we look at how you decided to develop your business model, and it is really, truly different from anything that's out there. And I want to congratulate you for that. So can you take us now to the moment? Let's see how you got here. For all those Nomad Nation, if you're listening and trying to find your business idea, I want to see, I want to help you here, see how you can apply this to yourself, and how can this help you try to think about how can you find that right business idea for you? And I always say the right business idea for you, because there's so many business ideas, but that doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you. So in order to do that, I want to go a little bit backwards. And if you could paint us the picture, Emily, before you joined BIA. What stage were you?
As you know from the introduction, I've been living abroad for a long time. Both our kids are born abroad, and I have had so much fun. I have really, really loved every experience. Every place we've lived has got a piece of my heart. I've committed myself to all sorts of different things, a lot of it volunteering, from supporting NGOs in Delhi to running the parent organisation in Chongqing. It was all volunteer time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was very rewarding. But when we moved to Taipei, I had this inner desire for something more. I was very, very happy, but I wasn't necessarily satisfied. I was getting rewarded, but it wasn't necessarily meeting the inner need anymore. And I was looking, I was reading everything. I was talking to everyone. I was, reflecting, walking around. I was just in this space of I need something else. And then there was this blog that Lucille from Expita Patica did. And she talked about the 5 reasons why as an expat you've got the skills you need to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's because she'd seen you, Amel, at the FIGT conference that year. And I read it.
Lucille, big hugs to you if you're listening.
I love Lucille's writing. But it just went, oh my God, of course, I never thought of it. And in the bottom of her post, she linked all the people that she was referencing in that post. And it has to be serendipity, because if I had still been in China, I wouldn't have been able to access any of that information. And it was through that I found Tanner Nomads and yourself and joined that first webinar that you did. And I was just sitting there going, oh, this is what I need. This is so what I have to do right now. And I can't remember what the investment was, but my husband came home that night. I said, honey, I'm going to need some money. And he just looked at me and said, what for? I said, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to start a business. What are you going to do? I said, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm going to do it.
Amazing. I did not know this story. This is so cool. It's so funny because I was just going to start talking about the investment, because at some point we need to invest. But oh my God. Okay. You've said so many important things here. Let me try to dissect. Number one, I really want to give credit to Lucille because she has amazing, an amazing blog. And I will actually put the link of that article that you read in the show notes of this episode, because she is just amazing, a writer, and she has amazing guidance already on, how to deal with being an expat mom on the move. So Lucille will make sure to share that and say hi to you. Thanks so much for sharing the word, by the way. But I also want to go back to how you felt, the fact that you said, I want something more, and now I need to do something about it. And I love how you did not waste any time. So I know that you were one of the few people that I know that took action right away. I think the time between you read the article and you took action was like a week or 2. That's really exceptional. And I guess this is also why you managed to launch your business in just less than a year. That's amazing. So I think it's also due a lot to your drive and to your personality and your mindset. And I would love if you could share what is that mindset that helped you and what has helped you say, okay, I need to take action and I need to get the money for it.
I think from talking to other mums and listening to other people's podcasts and things, I think a lot of people feel that finding a purpose has to come from a place of unhappiness or sadness or in some cases depression. And that's definitely not the case for me. I was very happy and I was being rewarded for what I was doing. But there comes a point where, as a mother of 2 girls who are watching the world around them, and people are starting to ask them, what are you going to be when you grow up? Well, I'm going to be a mum. Well, you don't just be a mum. What is it that you are passionate about? What is it that you want to invest your time in? And I think the knee jerk for me was one of those questions, I think, to my eldest Jessica, and she wanted to be a mum. And then she was like, oh, but maybe I'll be a policeman, or maybe I'll be a doctor. And I'm thinking, what sort of role model am I being for my girls? I need to change this. Yes, I love my life. And yes, being an expat spouse limits your traditional working ability. But I need to do something about this. And so it was a drive for I need more. It was a drive for I need to demonstrate to my 2 young girls that life is more. And I want to contribute. I want to contribute to our family more than just put food on the table and clean up after everyone. I want to be a more valuable member of the family going forward.
This is so powerful what you're saying. And I can imagine how many moms must really identify with what you're saying. So thanks for sharing that so authentically and genuinely, because I do think that, when we talk about women empowerment, it does start very young. It does start with what role model we're giving. And if a mom is happy, the kids are happy, but they will also see what it takes, like what it takes to really invest in ourselves and achieve our dreams. And if we don't do it if we do some sacrifice for our children, I think that's amazing. But we might need to make sure that we're doing it while being happy. If we're not happy, can we really portray that role for our kids? What do you think?
I think you have to. I think being happy in yourself is key. I think it's the absolute core of it. I'm not saying I wasn't happy though. Yeah. It was deeper than that. I am a happy person. I will always find a silver lining. I always find a way forward with things. But it was a deeper sense of need to demonstrate that you, as a female in this world, which is changing so rapidly, can do anything you want to do, anything you decide you want to do, you can make it happen. And I think that's been my key drive.
Yes. And actually, while we're there, I would love you to share some of the things. I've been really moved by your journey and impressed by you the whole time, because you are a go-getter and you have never complained of too much work, of too complicated, even the technology. You were never a web designer and started developing your website on your own. I could not believe it. So you had gone beyond outside your comfort zone. So you've done a lot, and I want to share a little more about how you did it. But real briefly before that, while you were going through that, your daughters were watching you and were seeing you. And at some point you told me about, when your daughter had to say, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
And can you tell us more about the feedback that you got on certain points to your daughters, very spontaneously, what they shared with you?
It's quite funny because I am trying to juggle everything. So literally I put them in the bath, and it's just my office is in the bedroom, so it's right next to where I'm working. And I quickly do an email, and she came out of the bath there and she's, "What you doing, Mummy?" "Well, I'm just sending you a really quick email. Someone's just waiting to hear back from me. If I don't do it now, then it will be tomorrow, and I want to get it done." She said, "Well, what do you mean you're sending an email?" I said, "Well, I'm doing a bit of work, sweetheart." She said, "What do you mean work? What do you do?" I said, "Well, I support other mummies." She said, "Well, how do you do that?" So I talk to them and I guide them, and I give them resources and create a community for them. She looked at me, she said, "Do you mean to say I can be a mummy and I can work?" "You can do both." "Oh my goodness, Mummy, I'm so proud of you." This huge hug. Samantha's got the biggest eyes. She's just looking at me. I was like, oh my goodness, this is why I'm doing it.
Oh my God, I got goosebumps right now. Oh my God, she literally said that you can be a mommy and you can work. And yes. She was excited about that. That says a lot.
It was interesting because 2 days later, I did a mini coaching session with one of my clients. She's at the school as well. And she overheard a couple of the comments that I made. And she came up to me and she says, "Mummy, those other mummies are so lucky to have you." She said, "But who supports you?" I said, "Well, I've got this amazing lady called Amel." And, "Oh, that's the lady you talk to in the mornings." Yes.
Wow.
All of a sudden, she's connecting all these pieces from our lives that she didn't realise meant it was me working. So I've been more deliberate since then, talking to them about what I do and how I do it, and explaining and showing them my website and things as well.
That's amazing. This conversation is taking a whole new direction for me, because I know we talked about it, but it's just so powerful how what we're portraying, is impacting how they're growing and how they believe our role in the society is. So she's very smart, your daughter, though, because to actually ask you the question, who's supporting you? How old is she?
At that time, she was 6.
6 years old, and she asked her that question. Oh my God. Okay, you've got some geniuses in the house.
She's an old soul. She's a very old soul. She's very caring.
That's amazing. Well, that's amazing. And let me I just wanted to share that, because beyond starting a business, for me, what makes me really happy is to see also the impact it has for you, but also for your clients. So I want to talk about that. So could you share with me what has happened since you finished the BIA? So just to explain, the BIA was about finding the right business idea, but also teaching you how to test it before you launch it so you don't waste time, and how to, like, some ideas of marketing strategies to launch. So you launched it, and could you take us through that experience?
So I had a concept of building a platform, an app or a website or something, and what I needed to do was to test what content would be suitable, what people want. And so I got this group of women together, and that's when I learned that actually they don't want to go and check something, they want to discuss it and learn from it and all the rest of it. But what was happening during that process is people were transforming their lives and changing the way that they operated, changing the way that they reacted to their kids and to their husband. And, one of my clients, started to say, actually, no, you need to do that for yourself. And instead of being there and doing everything for everyone in her family, and she lives in an extended family situation, instead of doing everything for everyone, which was exhausting her, it was making her physically sick, she started to say no and push back. Other clients have started to set boundaries for themselves. No, this is my time that I exercise. And no, you need to be home from work because I am going to go and do that for myself right now. I need to get out of the house and I need that physical exercise. And previously, I think, especially as an expat wife and mother, we accept that this is just our role. It's our role. We're not working a traditional job. This is what we have to do while we're here, is satisfy everyone else's needs and keep everything running smoothly. But we can do it with boundaries. And what I'm empowering them with is the tools to reflect and look at their lives and set better boundaries for themselves as well.
That's amazing. And I think that's also something that I know you're realizing, but I just want to reiterate it. How launching your own business is just beyond just a business. Although you are selling these programs, you are getting money in exchange. And we talked about the importance of, even when you test your program, you need to get money. Otherwise, you will not know if people are ready to pay for it. But what you're doing, you're also making an impact. And it goes back to what you wanted before you started Business Idea Accelerator. You needed something more. So how do you feel today?
I feel so privileged to have met you and done the program. I feel so proud of what I've achieved. I feel overwhelmed by the changes I've been able to make in other people's lives, and privileged by that journey as well, to be a part of that with them and share that with them. And just so damn happy for my girls that I'm now doing something that they can look to and appreciate in the way that I wanted them to see me as a role model.
That is so important. And I feel so touched that I could be part of your journey. Thank you so much for giving me the credit. But I do think, like I said, that you owe yourself 99% of that success because you took action, you followed the roadmap. You just followed the roadmap, but also committed to it. And speaking of commitment, I would love to know, what are the changes you needed to make to be able to commit to the program and also get results once you finish the program and launch your business, but also in terms of financially, what commitment you had to do to be able to get the results you get today?
The first conversation, I think, was the hardest with my husband in terms of, I found this course and I want to do it and I need the money. And what are you going to do to make a business? What? I don't know. He had to put a lot of faith in me that this was something I was serious about. But beyond that, I think I've done whatever I could to keep the cost down. And that's why I spent so much time teaching myself how to use MailChimp, how to schedule on social media, I've been living in China for 2 years. I didn't even know how social media worked, let alone what a hashtag was. I had to relearn everything to do with that. But then building my website, it was it was trial and error. I'm not a perfectionist, and nothing I do is perfect. I am a completer finisher, so I do just want to get things done, and I will tweak them along the way, but I'm not about making it perfect before it goes live, and I don't let that hold me back.
Yeah, you just said, I'm not about making it perfect. Yeah. So you were willing to learn and get out of your comfort zone, do things you've never done. You're like a pro of social media right now, and you have not even had an account before. You've never started a website. You've never used an email marketing tool. What would you want to share with those who feel like insecure about these things? Like not comfortable with technology, not comfortable with social media, not comfortable with selling. That's another big piece.
I'm still not comfortable with selling.
But you did.
Just pick it up and do it.
And you still do. You did.
And I can feel myself every time, even if it's just an email, I feel myself go red every single time I'm doing it. I think if I had to say one thing, it would be just take one step at a time. Yes. Just focus on getting one thing done. I think in the BIA you said up front, if you're not blogging, you need to start, and you need to start now. I was like, well, what the hell do you think? I know Lucille writes an amazing blog. I don't know how to write a blog. Like, what are you talking about? And so I started researching, how do you start a blog? What do you do? What does it look like? Just reading as much as I can, reading other people's blogs that I love and looking at it in more detail, and then focusing on that for a while. And then once I had my blog sort of thought about and the concept developed, well, then you've got to have your list somewhere. You've got to have your database somewhere. So I had to learn about MailChimp and HubSpot and all this other stuff. And I'm still learning about it because they keep changing it on me. But you just have to break it down into little steps and take one step at a time. Don't look at the big picture and think, oh, I can't do that. Just break it down. What's the first thing I have to do? What do I need to do to achieve it? What happens next? What do I need to do now? What happens next? And just keep working through the little steps. Don't look at the big picture at that stage. Obviously, you've got a business concept, that's your big picture, but just do the little bits at a time and take it one step at a time.
That's such a great tip. That's really a very important tip here. And take it one step at a time and not trying to do it all. But also, you said something about keeping the costs down. And a lot of people think when they say, oh, I have to launch a business, means I have to invest. And I remember that some of the barriers for people to start a business where they wanted to join the Business Idea Accelerator was like, but I can't invest in a business now. So you don't need to invest in a business. Actually, you can start with a beta, which you did, which we call the prototype. And that, I don't know how much it cost you. Do you want to share?
It didn't cost me physical dollars. No, I got a free hosting thing, and I did my website myself. So it didn't cost me anything.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. So you started your business with zero costs.
Yeah. So, other than the BIA program, nothing.
Exactly. So the BIA program, that's true. Actually, we want to talk about that. So it was an investment for you. What helped you convince your husband to do it?
I was just adamant. This was not, I had to ask him for the money because obviously he's got the bank account here. That's how it works in this country. But it wasn't a question of can I. It was just a statement of I need. I have to do this for myself. I'm sorry. I need to do this. And I think I did apologise for it. I don't know why. But it wasn't a question, can I? It was I need to.
Yeah, I think it's more about you being determined that this is what you need to do for yourself. Yeah. That's important. Yeah. It's interesting that you say that. Yeah. So, okay, you've launched your business and you tested it, and I want to see what kind of strategies have worked for you the best to be able to land your first clients.
Talking to them, just being there, being present, and talking to them. And my prototype group was largely people I was talking to face to face, but it was also friends of friends who were watching my blog that I'd started a couple of months prior, who were saying, actually, this is something you need to do. So it was just that my blog is literally how I talk anyway. So I was talking to an audience of people who were pretty much just friends at that point. And I was talking to friends and people that I just see at the school gate, and just talking and listening and talking and listening and just taking it and gathering it and starting to form more of a picture from there.
Yeah. And I think that's such a great advice. You've spent a lot of time doing the market research and doing the surveys that we teach how to do in the program. And you always told me it's my clients who tell me what they need.
Yes. And that's happening again right now as well. The ladies have just finished the support group before the summer. They all sat there and the last call and said, it's all great until it's not. I'm like, we've just done 12 weeks of how you do this. Okay. So is there something more that you want? Yeah, we need more. And so I talked to them some more after that. And over summer I did some more research, and we've just agreed that we're going to start a new expat mums mastermind group, and we're going to go to the next level and change the format a little bit, but we're going to go to the next level, and we're going to go deeper dive into, so what does it mean to manage our time as a mum, our emotions as a mum, and go really deeper into it. But it's through those conversations and really listening and being attuned to what they're telling me that I'm finding the opportunity. So now I'm prototyping a new concept with a new group of people. And already I had 2 people come up to me last night at school and, hey, I just heard about this group you're starting. Can I be in it?
That's amazing.
It's just talking to people and connecting and listening and really listening well.
I love that you brought that up, because you can learn as many marketing strategies as you want. Nothing will work if you don't listen, pay attention, and really try to serve your clients with what they need. So you've done that beautifully. And another thing that I take away from what you're saying is how you are accepting to make your business evolve. And the business does not have to stay, 100% the same way you imagined it. I'm sure that what you have drawn in your business model Canva, if you remember that.
I do. It's nothing like it.
Go back to the business model Canva and analyze what it is today. It must be completely different.
It is. It's nothing the same, except that it's expat mums.
Yeah.
That's and my niche is mums who are expats for the first time. That's my core support group, with the mastermind being mums who've been expats for a long time or for a while. So.
Yeah. So you're learning as you're going and you're growing as you're going. So for me, it's just a proof of take the pressure off. Really, take the pressure off. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look great. I remember your first website was, oh my God, I don't want to say it, but hideous.
Yes.
But I did not tell you that at the time.
It's like a child's chalkboard.
Scratching. But I never told you that website looks actually ugly. Because that's exactly how it happens. It looks ugly because I remember mine, how it looked ugly. And my first episode is horrible. I was hesitating to remove it so many times. But that's exactly the thing about starting a business, is that you grow with your business. I always say that you have to consider your business as a human being. It evolves with time. The more you learn, the more you're perfected, and get the pressure off your shoulders. You don't have to have it all figured it out. No. Just start, and your clients will help you grow as you listen to them. And as you do exactly what you did, you ask questions, you talk to them, and then you build your programs according to what they need.
But I think it's two-way, because it's not just building my programs differently. I mean, what's happening is it's changing me as well, and it's making me a better person. Every client interaction I have is my business is morphing and changing and growing, and it's it's organic, but it's affecting me every time as well, and I'm becoming a better person for it.
That's an amazing point too. So tell me about how it has changed you. What has changed you? What has changed in you when you said it affected me?
I think I'm more deliberate in how I invest myself. I think I'm not a pushover. I'm not saying I'm a pushover, but I think I was always eager to please other people. And I think that's been a really big learning for me. I wrote a blog post about it a while ago. I've always been eager, and there would have been a time when I just did things that would, not convenient to me, or throw out my family schedule or something, but I just did them because people would ask me to do them. And I'm being more deliberate about my time. And I don't think about my time in terms of the hours of the day. I think about my time in terms of capacity and what I can achieve that's most effective for me, for my friends, for my family, for my clients. And I'm very considerate about what I do and how I do it. That also impacts on how I parent my kids. And I used to feel that, I was talking about it last night at the school, I used to feel that I was always rushing, grabbing them at school gate, getting home, right, into the bath, right, do your homework, right, do dinner, okay, now story, right, okay, into bed. It was never, I was never relaxed as a parent. It's all about the time and the routine and most of it. I'm learning to be better connected with them. I'm learning to do the journey with them, and I'm learning to listen to my kids better as well. And that's all been from the BIA, from that process all the way through, all the things that you talked about in terms of interests and passions and conversations and showing up, and it's changed who I am all the way through. And
wow,
it's been a deliberate journey on my part, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's affecting. It is changing.
I would have never thought this. Honestly, I did not expect this answer. In a way, what I hear is it has, you have changed of who you are even as a parent, how you parent your daughters since you started your business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm like so blown away that I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just like very impressed with what you have achieved. So, any advice for those who, because you talk about being a mom, and it's not that easy for everyone to be able to juggle the day when you have, like you said, you have to prepare breakfast, get the kids ready, take them to school, then prepare dinner, and etc. And all the other things, actually, not just the kids, but all the things that involve being a mom, organizing the household and paperwork and all the things, and the move right now. So, and by the way, you're moving while launching your new support group. I just want to say that, by the way, Nomad Nation. Unfortunately, when we're going to launch this, the program, the doors of of Emily's program will be closed, but you definitely want to go to her website and sign up for the waiting list or her newsletter so that you can know when it's open again. But she managed to batch all her content and batch all the promotion of her program before she started packing to move to New Zealand. And everything is running on autopilot now, besides your one-on-one relationships, obviously. Exactly. I am so blown away by what you have achieved. It's just insane. But how did you do it? Seriously, as a mom, you don't have the time to do all of that. So what did you put in place proactively to be able to achieve that?
As I said just before, I've been very deliberate about my time and how I invest it. And over the summer, there was one day, it was raining. We were at my mum and dad's in South Australia. It was raining. It was terrible weather. And my mum was really engaged with the kids, and they were happy doing whatever they were doing. It was a spy hunt or something. I was like, you know what? And I just got the laptop out and I just started writing. And, everything just flowed. The emotions, the energy was right, and it just flowed. And you've always talked about batching, and I thought I was kind of doing it, but then I actually did it, and I went, oh, this is so liberating. Why didn't I do this before?
Amazing.
And so the same last weekend, there was a typhoon. The kids had their Barbies out, and they were so happy playing. Scott was in the kitchen. He was happy doing his thing in the kitchen, and I was like, I'm just going to take the opportunity. I'm not going to say anything to anyone. I'm just going to go and get to it. And because I know that we're going to be moving and we're going to be in transition, I deliberately wrote about those emotions and those feelings, and I've scheduled again through to when I know the kids will start in their new school and I will have time again. So it's just so utterly liberating to do it that way, but making the most of the time. And people often say, I don't have enough time. Well, what time do you turn the TV on? What time do you sit on the couch? Is that a really good use of your time? And I'm not saying you have to be sitting in front of your computer working on your business. Get a pen and paper out, write down some ideas, draw a mind map of what you think might happen next. If you want to batch some content, what might that look like? How might it tie together? You don't have to sit at a computer to be working, but think about your time, and that's what I've been very deliberate about, using my time differently. I bought myself a secondhand piano, digital piano, and I'll give myself half an hour where I just bang around on that for a while, and then I'll go and sit down with a pen and paper. I'm being very deliberate about it. So,
I want to talk about that 1 second here. So just for all of you who are listening here, it's all about making yourself a priority. And actually, there's a whole module in the BIA about that. How do you make yourself a priority? Moms tend to put themselves at the end of the channel. And that's, I think, the biggest shift you've done. You've put yourself on top of the channel because, if you're doing well, everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
Not only that, you put priorities and you also put boundaries to your time. What time are people allowed to take from you and what attention can they take away from you? Communicating. I know that you've been communicating very well to your daughters, and that's maybe why you feel like you're a better parent. Your process, you're not just not telling them, you're explaining them what you're going through, and they're so excited for you. That's amazing. And the other thing that you've done, and that what I was like, wow, that's another level. I remember when we were having one of our sessions and you were telling me, okay, I managed to organize my time, but now I have 2 hours in the evenings where I have nothing to do and I don't want to work.
Yes.
And can you tell me what you did?
So I am a routine mummy, as I've said a couple of times now. My kids go to bed at 6:30. And I know it's early, but we are generally up at about 5:30 in the morning. So 6:30 still gives them 11 hours. My husband works across town, so he doesn't get home until late, sometimes 8:30, sometimes a lot later if there's clients he has to meet. So I've got these windows where I am physically exhausted. I exercise during the day. I do some yoga and things in the evenings, and I enjoy that, but I don't want to do it every night. I read a lot, but I don't want to read every night for 2 hours. I love listening to music, and I've always got music playing. But you sometimes just need something else as well. And I've done jigsaw puzzles and I've done some bit of baking and whatnot. But I just need something else. I need something else that's an outlet for me. And I put it on the Tandem Nomads group, actually. Looking for inspiration, people. What do people do for their downtime? And all the things I was doing came back. And then someone said, I think it might have been April Winfrey, get yourself an instrument and start playing. And I thought, you know what? I love piano. I had to sell my piano when we moved to China. I couldn't take it. I'm going to find one. And I looked online and found one in the Facebook Marketplace, again, new for me. And I drove across town and I picked it up and I got a really good price on it. And it's digital, so I can plug the headphones in and I can just bang. I'm not good. I'm learning to remove sheet music again, but I love it. I really, really love it. It's so liberating, and as I said, it gives me that creative, and then I'm quite happy to sit down with a pen and paper afterwards and scope out some more ideas and whatnot, but it just gives me that outlet, and I love it.
So it's amazing how starting your business allowed you to be more conscious about your how you spend your time, but not just for your business. And that's why I say you're taking it to a whole new level where you're also asking yourself, okay, now how am I going to manage my time to please myself, entertain myself? And that time of creativity is also a time that will feed your inspiration for your business, but also to be more present as a mom, and as a wife, and as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter. Okay, so this is so many great tips here, and we have to reach an end because we could talk about this for hours. I would really love if you could first tell us now where you're taking your business next now. What's the next step for you?
So I'm launching my new support group. I run my support group in seasons. I don't run it over the big summer break, and I don't run it over Christmas. So there's 2 seasons for my support group. So I've got that going, and I'm prototyping the mastermind for expat mums as well over this next season as well. So I'm excited about that. And obviously I'm in transition. So I'm looking forward to getting to New Zealand and reconnecting with my old professional network as well, and seeing what opportunities there are there for me as well. So,
yes. And you're also developing your B2B clients, like companies who need that support for their spouses or their employees. Yeah. And you also have built some packages for coaching.
And individual coaching packages. I really want to get those off the ground now. So I've sort of had them there as a concept, but now I really want to make them start to work as well. So as I said, I'm not a perfectionist. I sort of have ideas, I put it out there and I tinker around with it, but then I just need to bring it all together now and really take my business to the next level. So
that's amazing.
I'm really, really excited about it.
I have no doubt that you're going to go very far, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And I hope, Nomad Nation, that you got so much inspiration from Emily's story. And if you want to learn about how you can do that, and we have a free webinar that explains you the exact roadmap that Emily took to be able to launch her business. So go to tandemnomads.com/134 and sign up for this webinar so that I can share with you, and Sunday Bean will also be there, some of the tips of how you can do that. So Nomad Nation, thank you for listening. And Emily, thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey.
And Mel, can I add one more thing? I'm sorry.
Yes, of course.
I'm one about dates and things, but this is the week that we finished the BIA Accelerated program last year. The last week of August was it. So in 1 year, this is where I'm at since finishing the BIA program. Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe it's been 1 year that we finished the BIA.
It's our anniversary.
Our anniversary. We need to cheer to that. So I'm sending you a big virtual hug. And I'm also want a big thank you to Sunday Bean, who has been part of this journey, a huge part of this journey. If you're listening, we're thinking about you. We're cheering with you. And also, I want to say hi to everyone who participated in the program. There's so many of you who had an amazing transformation. We can't have you all on the show, but I also want to make sure that at some point I will get to share your stories. Nomad Nation, about any question you might have, if you want to reach out to Emily, go to her website, expatparentingabroad.com, and I will make sure to put all the information of Emily in the webpage of this episode, tandemnomads.com/134. Thank you, Emily, again for everything.
Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you.
Nomad Nation, stay tuned to turn your challenges into great opportunities, and see you in the next episode.